Picture a giant language model generating a sentence, one word at a time. Each word forces the entire model to run a full forward pass, billions of parameters fired up just to produce a single token, and then it does the whole thing over again. Worse, that pass is memory-bound, so the enormous GPU sits mostly idle, waiting on data to move. Feels like it should be faster, right? So here's the question. What if a tiny, cheap model could guess the next few words, and the big one just checked them all at once? That's the whole idea behind speculative decoding, and it makes generation 2 to 3 times faster for free. Let's unpack it. So where does all the time actually go? Here's the bottleneck laid side by side. Normal generation runs 1 token per big forward pass. The model predicts a word, appends it, then runs the whole enormous network again for the very next one. Because each pass moves far more memory than it does math, the GPU is memory-bound and mostly waits, so all that raw compute power sits underused while you crawl through the sentence token by token. This trick flips that around. A small, fast draft model proposes several tokens ahead cheaply, and then the big model checks all of them in a single parallel forward pass. Verifying a handful of tokens costs about the same as generating just one, because the model was memory-bound anyway, so those extra checks come almost free. Same big model, same answer, far less waiting. So how does this actually work? Follow the loop one step at a time. First, the little draft model runs ahead. It's a much smaller, faster network, so it can cheaply generate a guess for the next several tokens in a row, a short candidate continuation of the sentence, produced in a fraction of the time the big model would take. Now the big target model takes over. It receives that whole draft and verifies every proposed token at once, in one parallel forward pass. Here's the key insight. Checking several tokens together costs about the same as producing a single one, so this verification step is almost completely free. Then comes the clever guarantee. A rejection rule compares each drafted token against what the big model itself would have chosen, and accepts every token up to the first disagreement. The math ensures the accepted tokens are exactly what the target model would have produced on its own, so the output is provably identical. Finally, you keep the accepted tokens and continue. When the draft guessed well, which happens often for easy, predictable words, you pocket several tokens from a single big pass. When it guesses wrong, you simply fall back to one normal step and try again. Either way, you never lose quality, you only save time. Strip it down, and 3 ideas make speculative decoding work. A small draft model guesses, and the big one verifies. The cheap model races ahead proposing tokens, and the expensive model confirms them all in a single parallel pass, turning slow sequential generation into fast batch checking. The output is provably identical. Because the acceptance rule only keeps tokens the big model would have generated anyway, there is zero quality loss. This isn't an approximation or a shortcut that trades accuracy. It's the exact same distribution, just reached faster. The payoff is 2 to 3 times faster generation. For free, on the very same model, you slash latency, which is why speculative decoding is now a standard optimization in production serving. You tune it with the draft model size and how many tokens to speculate each round. Alright, let's lock in what matters. This technique makes a large language model generate text 2 to 3 times faster without changing its output at all. It works by letting a small, fast draft model guess several tokens ahead, then having the big model verify them all in one parallel forward pass. Because verifying is nearly free on a memory-bound model, and a rejection rule guarantees the accepted tokens match the big model exactly, you gain speed with no quality loss. The design choices are simply which draft model to use and how many tokens to speculate. If you like inference tricks explained without the mystery, speculative decoding is one of many we unpack over at standarity.com. Catch you there.